Produk lokal memang handal, kreasi lokal memang spesial. Ayo beli buatan negeri, bangga sekali produk sendiri. Dari busana sampai kria, kuliner juga buatan kita. Ayo beli kreatif lokal, marilah beli produk kreatif lokal. Berjuang negeri, beli kreatif lokal, banggalah beli produk kreatif lokal.
Okay, good morning everyone. We will start the event shortly. At the 8:58, we'll start playing the Indonesia Raya. After that, we will start the event as scheduled at 9 o'clock. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi semuanya. Terima kasih sudah bergabung di acara kita pada pagi hari ini. Sebelumnya izinkan saya untuk memandu acara pada pagi hari ini dengan menggunakan bahasa Inggris. Good morning everyone. Thank you for joining us in today's event, the launching of training program Fintech Foundation Program Flex from 10,000 Tech for Inclusion, collaboration of Digital Entrepreneurship Academy with N Group. My name is Oni. Allow me to represent Kominfo as moderator for today's event. In this morning, I would like to welcome all of you that has joined us today, the participants from general public, and also from association that support us, such as Asosiasi Fintech Indonesia, Asosiasi Fintech Pendanaan Bersama Indonesia, Asosiasi Fintech Syariah Indonesia, Asosiasi Layanan Urun Dana Indonesia, Asosiasi Indonesia Blockchain, Asosiasi Bank Syariah Indonesia, Asosiasi Asuransi Syariah Indonesia, Perhimpunan Bank Umum Nasional, dan Asosiasi E-Commerce Indonesia. I also would like to welcome the speakers that have joined us for today's event. First, we have Mr. Riza Azmi from Kominfo. Good morning, Mr. Riza Azmi. How are you today?
Good morning, I am good, thanks.
He will represent us from Kominfo to make opening speech. Second is Yin Van Zeng from N Group. Good morning, Mr. Yin Van. How are you today?
Morning, Oni. Very good. Thank you.
He will represent N Group to introduce us the 10,000 program. The third is Mr. Jason Pau, also from N Group. Good morning, Mr. Jason. How are you today?
Very good morning to you all as well. Great to be here.
Yeah, thank you. He will conduct interview with Mr. Vincent Henry Iswarasio, so from Dana. Good morning, Mr. Vincent.
Good morning, Mas Oni.
Oh, ya. Mr. Putri will
Diwakili
be.
ya, Mas. Mohon izin.
Ya, Mbak Putri, Mr. Putri will be represent from Mr. Vincent from the Dana. And last but not least is Miss Dea Deviana from GoTo Financial. Good morning, Miss Dea.
Yeah, we'll join later as well.
Oh, okay. Miss Dea later will share with us as alumni from 10,000. Okay. Under the digital talent scholarship of Kominfo that had been running from 2018, there are several programs that offer training to enhance the knowledge and skills of its participants. And one of them is Digital Entrepreneurship Academy, or DEA. In today's event, the launching training program of Fintech Foundation Program Flex from 10,000 Tech for Inclusion is a collaboration of DEA Kominfo with N Group. This will be our first collaboration with N Group, and we hope it will continue in the future. By joining us in today's launching of the training, we wish that you all will have the information about the training and of course the interest to join the training later. Before we start, allow me to read some code of conduct throughout the next 2 hour session. First, to ensure our convenience, we limited the interaction of the participants. Participants may raise questions by sending messages via chat feature on the Zoom, with the format will be given by us organizer in the chat box. Please send the chat directly to the account Q&A Flex. I repeat, you can send the question to the account of Q&A Flex from the list of the participant. At the end of the session, we will choose and read the question that for the account, which later will be answered by the respective speakers. Second, during the session, we will give you the link for the attendance and we ask you for your willingness to fill it. The link for attendance will be repeated a few times throughout the session. You only need to submit it once. Last, there will be a group photo session at the end of the session for all participants and speakers. Please turn on your video at the end of the session so we can take a picture together. Okay, because today we had very limited time, without further ado, let us begin in the event. First, in our agenda will be opening speech by Mr. Azmi. Mr. Riza Azmi is the head of staff-working group of DEA. For those of you who had participated in our training, may already know Mr. Azmi, since he also managed their program from last year. Let's welcome together Mr. Riza Azmi. Mr. Riza Azmi, when you're ready, the time is yours.
Thank you, Oni. I think I will deliver my opening speech in Bahasa Indonesia since most audience are from Fintech and Banking Association in Indonesia. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, selamat pagi, salam sejahtera, Om Swastiastu, salam kebajikan untuk kita semua. Good morning, Mr. Jason, Pak Vincent, Mr. Infan, dan Budia. Yang saya hormati rekan-rekan asosiasi fintech dan perbankan yang hadir di undangan ini. Di sini saya lihat ada asosiasi fintech Indonesia atau AFTEC, kemudian asosiasi fintech pendanaan bersama Indonesia, asosiasi fintech syariah Indonesia atau AFSI, kemudian asosiasi layanan urun dana Indonesia, asosiasi Indonesia Blockchain Society, kemudian asosiasi Bank Syariah Indonesia, asosiasi Asuransi Syariah Indonesia, Perhimpunan Bank Umum Nasional atau Perbanas, kemudian Asosiasi E-commerce Indonesia atau IDEA. Kemudian kami juga mengundang ujung tombak Digital Entrepreneurship Academy, yaitu para mentor yang saya banggakan, kemudian para alumni 1000 Startup Digital dan para tamu undangan sekalian yang hadir di acara launching ini. Pertama-tama Digital Entrepreneurship Academy merupakan inisiatif dari Kementerian Komunikasi dan Informatika sejak tahun 2020. Jadi kita sudah jalan hampir sekitar 2,5 tahun. Kemudian tujuannya sebenarnya untuk melatih para UMKM untuk menggunakan teknologi komunikasi dan informasi untuk membantu meningkatkan akses pemasaran dan penjualan. Jadi di sini kami berpartner dengan beberapa mitra perguruan tinggi dan global tech company seperti ada Meta, kemudian Google, Gojek, Grab, Bukalapak, Tokopedia, dan beberapa mitra yang lain. Jadi di tahun ini kita mentargetkan untuk melatih 60.000 UMKM yang terdigitalisasi di tahun ini. Jadi tahun kemarin kita melatih 22.500, kemudian tahun ini mengalami peningkatan untuk 60.000. Di sini kami menyambut baik kerjasama antara Digital Entrepreneurship Academy Kominfo dengan 10 times 1000 Tech for Inclusion Initiative untuk melatih para fintech leaders, fintech expert, dan fintech enthusiast di Indonesia. Sedikit tentang 10 times 1000, jadi program ini merupakan inisiatif filantropi dari International Finance Corporation atau IFC yang merupakan anggota dari World Bank dan LIP di 2018. Sebenarnya di makna 10 times 1000 sebenarnya maknanya melatih untuk 1000 fintech leaders, expert, dan enthusiast selama 1 tahun, selama 10 tahun ke depan. Jadi tujuannya untuk menginspirasi perkembangan fintech di tanah air kita. Jadi program ini sebenarnya berisi 3 modul. Pertama, pembentukan mindset atau why digitization are matters and creating new opportunities. Kemudian yang kedua, knowledge. Di situ kita akan belajar nanti learn what technology makes financial inclusion possible. Dan terakhir itu terkait dengan skills. Jadi how to leverage this technology to create new solutions. Jadi ini bagus untuk para startup atau mungkin dari teman-teman asosiasi dan rekan-rekan di perbankan. Jadi kami berharap dengan adanya kursus singkat gratis ini selama 3 minggu dapat menginspirasi fintech enthusiast, kemudian para digipreneurs dan technopreneurs atau para pelaku startup dalam layanan keuangan, baik untuk memberikan layanan keuangan atau mungkin untuk membantu usahanya gitu untuk layanan keuangan baru. Kemudian last, Kominfo thanks to 10 times 1000 Tech for Inclusion Initiative to support the financial fintech learning in Indonesia. We hope this program benefits both of us, especially for Indonesia fintech ecosystem, also the digital entrepreneurs in Indonesia and technopreneurs in Indonesia, and for the 10 times 1000 itself. I think that's all for me. Thank you very much. I will give back to Oni. Thank you.
Okay, thank you Mr. Asmi for the opening speech and also for the opening today's event of the launching training program, Fintech Foundation Program Flex from 10,000 Tech for Inclusion, collaboration of the Kominfo and N Group. Now next for our next speaker, Mr. Infan Zeng. He is a Director of International Public Policy and Government Affairs of N Group, Global Business and Policy Research. 10,000 Tech for Inclusion is an open global fintech training platform that enables learners to become drivers of digital economic growth. It is an initiative launched jointly by the International Finance Corporation, a member of World Bank Group, and LIP in 2018. Today, Mr. Infan will introduce us about the 10,000 program. Mr. Infan, when you're ready, the time is yours.
Thank you, Oni. Thank you, Mr. Azmi, for your invitation and sharing the insight from Kominfo. And very good to meet you all. Morning, everyone. My name is Infan Zhang, and I'm the Director for International Government and Public Policy for Ant Group. I'm very glad to join you all today virtually from my home in Shanghai. Let me share my screen with you so that I will be able to share with you what this 10 times 1,000 program means. Okay, I think you should be able to see my screen. If not, raise your hand, make different expressions. Otherwise, I will go ahead. And it is our very great pleasure to announce that we are going to partner with Kominfo on digital alternative academy with Kominfo this year. And thank you for all your hard work to make this happen. And today, my main job is to go through the slides and to share what is 10 times 1,000 Tech for Inclusion program means to you. And to begin with, I would like to play a video so that will give you a visual understanding of the 10 times 1,000 Tech for Inclusion.
Ten times 1,000 project is really about closing the digital skills gap for the emerging markets to develop 1,000 tech leaders, tech talents each year. And we want to do it for the next 10 years.
Together with ANT, we are disseminating expertise to help emerging markets develop more digital talent.
There are two areas that are kind of issues with.
So, over time, when the business started,
It's my honor to be here to share with you what is financial inclusion.
On the way that AI is being deployed in financial services, and in this lesson we'll be covering some of the learnings from that, looking at what fintechs are doing.
Thanks for watching. I personally quite like this video, and that outlines the features of our program. And let me start with a question about your understanding of inclusion. So what do you understand for tech for inclusion, and what does that mean to us? Whether it's get digital access to loans for any pop shops and SMEs in your country, or it is the new way for the unbankable people to get access to finance or get different financial services by the new digital tools, or it is to help people to get digital skills to equip yourself to face the challenge in this fast-growing economy, or it is the opportunity for all of us to get access or to share the benefits of a digital-driven economic growth. I think 10 times 1,000 is all about that, and it will cover all the topics of these imaginations. So 10 times 1,000 program actually initiated in Bali in Indonesia 6 years ago in 2018 with a partnership between International Finance Corporation, the IFC, and Alipay product of Ant Group. So we are very glad to be back to Indonesia, to the place where we started, and to explore more opportunity with you to fulfill our mission, our vision, and position where we started this program. So the 10 times 1,000 Tech for Inclusion mission is to serve the UN Sustainable Development Goals, is to help to serve the human capital development in emerging markets through knowledge sharing in fintech field, especially on goal number 4, quality education, goal number 8, decent work and economic growth, and goals number 10, reduced inequalities. So we feel that our vision share with those of Kominfo and many of our associations here today to help bridging the digital gap of people in Indonesia in different regions. We aim to train 1,000 emerging tech leaders, tech talents every year for at least 10 years, and thereby to help drive the development of fintech globally. We also have a 4-pillar positioning of the 10,000 program. One is inclusion, diverse, inspirational, and being practical. And let me explain a little bit more what does that mean to you. By inclusive, I think in Indonesia in particular, we all understand it is very important for the economic to be built back during or after the pandemic, as we are still in that situation. And we understand digital tools and digital economy will be a very important drive to that economic building back. And that economic building back will be inclusive. It will be sustainable. I think that's our mission to work with Kominfo to address this program to you as well. By being diverse, it's more from the learner's perspective. And we know Indonesia is a very diverse country with the population widespread across the 10,000 islands in Indonesia. And the geographic difference, the demographic difference, and the difference in economic growth level is the reason why we pick Indonesia as one of our target market as well. So we think by bringing this course to people in Indonesia, we will be able to meet different needs from the very diverse population in Indonesia, and also the inequality gender issue in Indonesia. I think last month we already participate in the Women in Digital Finance event, also hosted by Kominfo, and we see a lot of outstanding female students sharing their knowledge and experience. And by being inspirational, that will go on the methodology of the 10,000 program. We are not teaching you the tech or the techniques of doing fintech, but actually we start from the mindset shaping, the vision shaping, and this is very important. And this is the fundamental way of thinking differently using the technology. And also practical, that's from the lecturer's perspective. All our lectures, they comes from the industry. They are the cutting edge dream maker of different markets. They have their own experience. They have experienced how to use this technology, how to use this this mindset to making things happen. And to give you a more deep impression of what 10,000 could bring to Indonesia population and Indonesia audience, we have a special video here from an Indonesia star alumni of the 10,000 program, Ms. Utari from Aruna, and she will speak in Bahasa. Let me play her video.
Selamat datang di Indonesia, negara kepulauan terbesar di dunia dengan garis pantai sepanjang 81.000 km. Posisi ini membuat keanekaragaman hayati di Indonesia semakin kaya karena merupakan titik temu antara Samudra Pasifik dan juga Samudra Hindia. Tapi, kondisi masyarakat di desa pesisir Indonesia masih tertinggal. Padahal, menurut data, ada sekitar 2 juta nelayan di Indonesia. Namun, 25% kemiskinan di Indonesia dikontribusi oleh masyarakat yang hidup di pesisir. Faktor permasalahan ini disebabkan oleh berbagai hal. Di antaranya, tidak ada transparansi data soal perikanan, keterbatasan akses pasar, keterbatasan pengetahuan akan cara-cara penangkapan ikan yang memiliki nilai tambah, serta pemahaman yang sangat kurang mengenai perikanan berkelanjutan. Perkenalkan, saya Utari Oktavianti, co-founder sekaligus Chief Sustainability Officer dari Aruna. Hari ini, saya akan menceritakan bagaimana Flex for Inclusion, perjalanan kami dimulai 5 tahun yang lalu, bersama 2 partner saya, Farid dan Indraka. Saya dan Indraka berasal dari desa pesisir dan kami menyaksikan sendiri bahwa potensi kita belum tergali dengan maksimal. Dengan adanya teknologi, kita bisa memberi kesempatan kepada nelayan untuk dapat bersaing secara global. Teknologi dari Aruna tidak mendisrupsi tenaga kerja manusia, tapi justru berperan sebagai agregator dan uptaker yang efektif bagi para nelayan kecil di desa pesisir untuk disalurkan ke pasar global. Misi kami menjadikan laut sebagai sumber kehidupan yang lebih baik untuk semua. Kedepannya, kami ingin mewujudkan fair trade. Nelayan bisa mendapatkan harga jual yang pantas, sementara di sisi pembeli bisa mendapatkan ikan yang berkualitas dengan harga yang sesuai. Untuk itu, kami juga harus memperhatikan banyak hal, mulai dari sistem, sumber daya, hingga lingkungannya. Aruna tidak hanya berfokus menciptakan teknologi yang canggih, tapi juga berfokus pada peran manusia yang terlibat. Implementasi teknologi dari Aruna melibatkan tim khusus yang bernama Local Heroes yang berperan sebagai agen perubahan di desa pesisir. Beberapa contoh teknologi di Aruna adalah platform jual beli, aplikasi pendataan, dan traceability untuk memastikan bahwa ikan yang diproduksi nelayan Aruna mengikuti aspek-aspek keberlanjutan. Aruna juga memikirkan cara bagaimana produk nelayan memiliki kualitas tinggi dan nilai tambah. Sehingga Aruna berinovasi melalui kegiatan pemberdayaan perempuan dengan mengajak wanita pesisir atau istri nelayan untuk melakukan pengolahan produk perikanan dari hasil tangkapan nelayan setempat. Saat ini, ada 23.000 nelayan yang tersebar di 43 titik di seluruh Indonesia yang telah bertransaksi dengan Aruna. Pendapatan mereka kini naik 3 hingga 12 kali lipat, ditambah dengan wanita pesisir yang juga memiliki penghasilan untuk keluarganya. Dengan hadirnya teknologi Aruna untuk nelayan, banyak sektor lain seperti perbankan, asuransi, hingga swasta ikut terlibat dan berkontribusi untuk nelayan, seperti memberikan modal melaut, akses asuransi dan kesehatan. Ini membuktikan teknologi mampu menciptakan fleksibilitas yang inklusif. Dengan adanya teknologi dan transparansi data, semakin banyak kolaborasi yang mampu diciptakan. 10 Time Thousands merupakan pelatihan yang dilakukan oleh Alipay yang bertujuan untuk menghasilkan pemimpin masa depan yang memberi manfaat kepada negaranya. Program 10 Time Thousand yang diadakan oleh Alipay telah berhasil membawa Aruna mendunia. Di dalam program tersebut, kami dapat terhubung dengan bisnis-bisnis partner. Terima kasih kepada 10 Time Thousand karena atas programnya membuat Aruna merasa yakin bahwa fleksibilitas di bidang inklusif teknologi. Menurut data FAO, ada 3 miliar orang di dunia yang mengandalkan seafood sebagai sumber protein utamanya. Dengan permintaan sebesar ini, industri perikanan harus diperhatikan keberlanjutannya. Jika tidak ada yang memperhatikan aspek ini, ketahanan pangan dan ekonomi akan terganggu. Aruna berusaha untuk mempertahankan keberlanjutan pangan dengan memperhatikan aspek people dan planet. Jika dua hal ini tercapai, profit akan menyusul secara sustainable.
So actually, you can see a very good case from a very small fishing and outsourcing business. But actually, that small case reflects many of the aspects, the requirement or characteristics required in the digital economy, being inclusive, tech-driven, diverse, and help the local community to grow. So I think that's not for the big companies, but actually for every SMEs in our region. And now let me go to the main part, is the program itself. So what is the program we are presenting you with our partnership with Kominfo to the Indonesian audience? In general, to be honest, we have two different programs. One is called the Fintech Foundation Program. One is for the Fintech Leadership Program. And they are two different tiers. And this year, we start from the Fintech Foundation Program first. In the past, we have this program onshorely in China. But with the pandemic and with the need, we decided to put that online. And this course is now virtually available on the 10 Time Thousand website. And the 10 times 1000 Flex is a special version that we made to allow learners to complete the program with your own pace. So you can submit your applicants to that, and you can follow your own time schedule to finish the entire learning period. And we do have a requirement for the applicants who is eligible to apply for this program. So basically 2 different categories. Category 1 is the entrepreneurs who have their business with a minimum operation of 3 years, or professionals working in a company in the financial, digital economy, fintech related ones for a minimum of 3 years. And I want to let you know that only with the partners we recruit. So in Indonesia, we only recruit with the Kominfo and its partnership via their website. We don't recruit openly. So we have a very selective way to recruit our students rather than going public. And this will make sure your classmates and the quality of our students will be in a very good level. And in terms of content, I mentioned that the 10 times 1000 program is very inspirational. And saying that is because the way we arrange our courses and our modules. We are not focused only on the techniques and the very practical ways about how to do business and help you hand in hand, one by one. But actually, we have 3 modular philosophy of 10 times 1000 teaching. We start from the mindset and then go to knowledge and end with skills. And that will help you to have not only the techniques, but also the vision, how different industry leaders, they make these things happen. And each module will have several courses. And in total, there will be 8 video courses, 8 video modules on our website. Each of them will be 45 minutes long. And we break it into small pieces so that you'll be able to use your spare time after work or during the weekend to pick them in the period of 3 weeks. And by the end of 3 weeks, we will send you a notification. And even you don't have time to finish all of them, we will notify you and to give you an extension, maybe for a longer period for you to finish all the program. The language of the program is English. Everything will be conducted in English, and including the program itself and many of our events and sharing class with your classmates. After the learning process, you will have the access to the online quiz for each of the modules. In total, there will be 3 quiz, and finish all the quiz, you will be able to get the certificate from 10 times 1000 together with Kominfo. And this certificate is very unique. It is empowered by Untitled using blockchain technology. And this certificate is one and only, and you have only 1 copy. And now let me share with you who brings the content to our courses. And here is a selected profiles of our leading lecturers. You can see actually they come from very different backgrounds. Some of them comes from academic background. Some of them comes from large corporation like Ant Group in our research department. Some from the consultant, some from the multinational organizations. And most importantly, people from the industry. So Dana, you must know that very well. So CEO Vincent is actually one of our top speaker, and he was voted as our most favorite moderator or lecturer in our program last year. So that represents why we say we are very inclusive, and we make sure our 10 times 1000 program is a very diverse program, and that will help address the challenge we have. And now let me go to our program details. Let me remind you that we have this 3 modular setting. we start from mindset, and then to knowledge, and then to skill. So having this modular setting is very important, because we think by changing the world into a digital economy, having only the technique is not sufficient. Everything should start from the mind, start from the vision in their mind. So we have 3 different courses here at 3 different levels to help you understand why digitalization is so important in creating new opportunities in inclusive economic growth. The first course is from a China perspective. Dr. Chen Long and Dr. Qiu Ming from the Luohan Academy, which is the research institute under the used to be under Ant Group and now is Alibaba Group, and they will share their view from a China perspective, what Ant Group have done in the past few years using digital technology to support inclusive growth, and that will help our students in Indonesia to have a view of what happened in China in the digital economy. And then moving beyond China, we'll have an opportunity to have the IFC speaker, Fang Jiang, to share a more broader view for financial inclusion in Asia, not only in China. So she will share her view from what she had been seeing in the developing markets, and especially in Asia, how different markets embrace the digital economy. And as a conclusion, Professor Huang Yiping from Peking University and also an ex-policymaker in China will make a conclusion of the digital economy and inclusion trends globally from a policymaker and academic perspective. And that will form the foundation of the mindset module for our courses. And these are very important trends. And I think it will be good if we start from the mindset part. And then we move on to the knowledge side. The knowledge side is more about the techniques and the technology and behind all these developments. First of all, we will have William Xiong from the Ant Group. He is our senior director. He will explain the tech behind fintech. What is the fundamental tech behind fintech to make these things happen? And then to other more applicant-oriented technology, one from Jelly Lee, also from Ant Group. He will share with you the blockchain-based applications in financial services, why they're important, and the new application in the industry, like NFT, which is very popular these days in China. And also our certificate will be made via the on-chain technology empowered by the underlying blockchain technology. And Keith will share the AI application in financial services. And AI application in financial services is very important, especially in the regulatory and risk management perspective, like anti-money laundering, anti-terrorism financing as well. So these will outline the fundamental technology behind fintech and why fintech is different from traditional finance, why tech thing, or you say tech finance, is different in the efficiency, in the security, in the accessibility, and these all made different because of these underlying technology. And the last module is about skills, and it's all about how we apply these technology, how we apply these mindset you have from a macroeconomic view on the trends and also the technology behind fintech to create new solutions to our users in different contexts. So that's why we have 2 CEOs rather than 2 professors or 2 tech gurus, but people in the industry with the experience to share their view in two different ways. Vince Dana from Dana, he will, of course, he will share with us later with more details in his interview with Jason. And he will focus on using technology to achieve larger scale. And Ignatius, on the other hand, from Touch and Go, will focus on how to use technology to solve user pain points. And having the user in the key in front of everything is very important. We are always user-oriented. And that's the program itself. But the 10 times 1,000 Tech for Inclusion is not just about the program, just not about the classroom itself. It's a community. By joining a 10 times 1,000 Tech for Inclusion program, you have basically an access to a group of like-minded people across the world, especially in the emerging markets, in East Asia, in Southeast Asia, in Africa, in Europe, in China. People will be in that platform and form a community of knowledge sharing. And through different events, interviews, and activity, you will also have the opportunity to speak to your peers in the 10 times 1,000 family. And every year we have 2 Gala annual events. Normally it will be offline, but now we have to do that virtually. But in different countries, we also have planned to have local events. And for in Indonesia, we are pretty sure we'll have the opportunity for people in Indonesia together under the 10 times 1,000 community. Now let me touch on our partnership with Kominfo. We think that it's very important to work with Kominfo and to address all these challenges in the Indonesia context. And by helping Kominfo and helping people in the existing Digital Entrepreneurship Academy, we will be able to equip you with the mindset, with the knowledge, and with the skills needed for the future challenge in the digital economy. And according to our partnership, we plan to arrange our courses in 6 different batches. You will have the opportunity to apply each of them according to your own schedule and your preference. And each of them will have a limit of 120 people capacity. We don't want to have too many people for just one course, so that you will have a limited resource from our program facilitator and also our community services. So we will suggest you to spread and pick the most a convenient slot or batch for yourself. And each program will run for 3 weeks. And you, by the end of that period, you will have the quiz and then have the certificate ready, issued jointly by 10 times 1,000 and Kominfo using the very exciting on-chain technology. And in total, we aim to have 1,000 alumni this year for Indonesia within 2022. And maybe if the reception is good and comments from our alumni is very positive, we could consider a more tailored approach and to reach more people in Indonesia. In terms of how to apply for this program, I think many of you want to try after this. 2 steps. First of all, I mentioned we only work with partners to achieve the recruitment numbers, not because we are lazy, but we want to make sure all our alumni are in a very good quality and they know what they want and they have the minimum requirement for at least 3 years in either a professional experience in a tech or digital related company, or you have 3 years minimum experience in your own business, whether in SME or larger corporation. So after my presentation, I think Oni will share with you the detailed step from the Kominfo website, how you apply for this program. And once you finish that, you will receive a referral from the Kominfo website. And then you will have access to the 10 times 1,000 organization website to submit your own application. And in the end, an email will be sent as a notification for successful registration. Bear in mind, again, this is not open to publicly to everyone, but selectively, exclusively via the Kominfo platform. So do follow the instructions. I think Oni will share later with you from the Kominfo perspective. I think that's all from me, and thanks for listening to my very lengthy sharing on the program. And I hope you will find this program relevant to your own job, your own vision for the future of digital economy. And I hope you will all apply to try this program and enjoy learning with us. Thank you very much. And I hand the floor back to Oni.
Okay, thank you very much for Mr. Infan for the introduction of the program. Now we are gain understanding about the 10,000 program, and we hope it will spark interest from the participant to join the training program later. If I may continue for our next session, allow me to read the profile for all of our speakers first. First, we have Mr. Jason Pao. Joining us with today, Mr. Jason Pao. He is a Senior Director International Public Policy and Government Affairs from N Group, a program lead of the 10,000 program. Mr. Jason Pao, based in Shanghai, leads several global corporate ESG initiatives as a Senior Advisor for International Government Affairs at N Group. Mr. Pao is program lead of 10,000 program Tech for Inclusion, a philanthropic initiative launched by Alipay and AIFC to train and enable talent globally on fintech. Mr. Pao also serves as Executive Director of the Jack Ma Foundation for International Program and leads its Africa Business Heroes Entrepreneur Program. Previously, Mr. Pao served as a Senior Director for Global Initiative at Alibaba Group based in Hangzhou, China from 2015 until 2020. Mr. Pao careers in global economic and business affairs began in 2007 at the U.S. Treasury Department in Washington, D.C., where he was a Presidential Management Fellow in the Office of the Chief of Staff during the financial crisis. During that time, Mr. Pao also supported the U.S.-China Strategic Economy Dialogue and served as a macroeconomic desk officer. Following government service, Mr. Pao joined the Albright Stonebridge Group, focusing on China consultancy service in 2010. Mr. Pao co-founded the Green Point Group, a strategic consulting firm with office in Washington, D.C. and Beijing, China. Based in Beijing, China, Mr. Pao led client service teams and operation as a vice president for Green Point. Prior to joining Alibaba, Mr. Pao was based in New York and served as chief of staff to the Global Business Development and Government Relations team at Aqua Incorporation, an integrated aluminum manufacturer. Mr. Pao is a graduate from Georgetown University, where he earned a Master in Public Policy, and a graduate from University of California, Irvine, when he earned a Bachelor of Economics. 10,000 Tech for Inclusion is an open and global fintech training platform that enables learners to become drivers for digital economic growth. Its mission is to train 1,000 emerging talents and tech leaders each year for next 10 years. 10,000 is a philanthropic initiative launched jointly by the International Financial Corporation, a member of World Green Group and Alipay in 2018. Today, Mr. Jason will conduct an interview for decision with one of the fintech company in Indonesia, Dana. Also joining us today, Ms. Putri Dianita, representing Mr. Vincent Henry Iswarityoso.
Apologies, Mr.
Oh, yeah.
Vince Iswara is here.
Yeah?
Mr. Vince Iswara is already here.
Oh, is already here, Mr. Vincent?
Vince is here, yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, first let me also read some profile from Mr. Vincent.
Yes, I'm here. Just now I cannot unmute myself. Okay, thanks.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Mr. Vincent is the co-founder and CEO of Dana. He has been a tech entrepreneur for more than a decade. Prior to Dana, he also founded one of the first fintech companies in Southeast Asia in 2008 called Indomoc. The company was one of the first successful payment companies in the region and the market leader in Indonesia, solving for the issue of gamers paying for digital goods. For those of you who played online games in the past, such as Ragnarok, RF Online, Gunbound, etc., you must familiar with this company. He was co-founder of other early startups such as cloud consulting company Pointstar in 2007, a digital marketing Polaris 3D in 2010, a co-working space Polaris Tech Center in 2001, and he has been active investor in tech startups. Mr. Vincent was awarded as the first Endeavor Entrepreneur of the Year in 2014, also recognized in both the technology and financial industry for his contribution to building a cashless society, and he is well known in the engineering community. He is currently a board member of ASPI, Indonesian Payment System Association, and Mr. Vincent was also a speaker at various worldwide conferences. Okay, Mr. Jason and Mr. Vincent, when you two ready, the time is yours.
Great, thank you so much, Ani. And to Mr. Azmi, all of the honorable colleagues, friends at Kominfo, to everyone listening across Indonesia, very good morning to you all. It is my distinct pleasure to be here to tell you more about 10 times 1000 in this, what we think is an amazing opportunity to upskill and to get an edge in today's fast changing digital landscape. As you heard from my colleague Yinfan, we have quite a bit of plans already set with our FinTech Foundation program, which we'll be launching with Kominfo. I also do want to say that we are not stopping there. 10 times 1000 this year will also release 2 to 3 additional training programs that we are eager to offer to graduates of the FinTech Foundation program. But without further ado, I'd love to invite a good friend, a partner of ours, Mr. Vince, CEO of Dana, to join me for a dialogue. And what better way to communicate about this program, but to have one of our star lecturers on for some questions, so you can get a feel of, for all you prospective learners, a feel of what the platform can offer in your journey, in your careers. I won't repeat Vince's introduction, but I'll just say that he is really an amazing businessman, and he's also an amazing leader and contributor to the whole FinTech community globally. So let me first, Vince, how are you doing this morning?
Hi, Jason. Thanks. It's really good to be here. I'm very happy. Actually, I just tested COVID positively yesterday, but I'm fine. I'm good. That's why I'm just isolating myself at home so I can, be careful, guys, because everyone now is everywhere already. Kind of feel that there is no need to wear mask or anything, but just still be careful, about your surroundings. And even though it's, we're all already vaccinated and already boosted, even sometimes it's just good to always wear masks whenever possible, because we still don't know how this is going to affect us, all of us. But I'm so happy to be here. I have a very good experience in regards to the program 10 by 1000 programs that Jason here is leading. And I'm so excited to be able to share it with you guys. And really, this is an opportunity. This is something that it's wonderful, especially for the tech communities or for the aspiring entrepreneurs who wants to be in this segment. And I'm, Jason, it's a privilege for me to be able to share this with you, to the audience.
Vince, sorry to hear that. I hope you recover well soon, and we'll try to keep this shorter to save your voice. But really a strong reminder to everyone to stay vigilant and to stay protected when you can. So Vince, I have a few questions for you. Some things maybe our audience would love to learn a little bit more about your insights. You delivered a really great lecture on scale, how to scale. And Indonesia is one of the largest and most diverse markets and populations in the world.
Yep.
And I was wondering, Vince, could you share, just if our audience can get a little taste of, how do you approach such a large and diverse market to drive your mission towards inclusion? Are there any nuggets of advice or thought that you can provide on that?
Okay, I think the key has always been in regards to achieving of market fit, right? I think that's one of the most important part in regards into building something that can scale. If you take a look into business such as ours, what we do is we're providing a digital payment service for Indonesia. And I think that's, in a sense, already, it's a business that can scale. However, we need to make sure that in order for us to achieve that scale, we need to first of all understand what is the pain points for the Indonesian, right? I think let's just talk about product to market fit. For the longest time, the Indonesian, as a country, we're used to do the payment instruments of using mostly cash, right? And cash has been around for hundreds of years. Some of us are getting used to what we call the card instruments, like debit card and credit cards. But in Indonesia, with such a diverse populations and large geography, card is not easy, because card requires an acceptance points. For example, like with the merchants itself, to install a device, and that they're not cheap. They can go out from $100 to $200, from 1,5 juta to 3 juta rupiah, right? From in terms of the cost to provide that. So that's why cards acceptance has been pretty slow in regards to the populations itself. In fact, in Indonesia, there are not more than 2 million merchants that accepting cards. That's why the growth of this instruments, it's not as fast as in other countries. So now we talk about digital payments, right? Digital payments, it's a way for the users to use their mobile phone, which is already achieving almost more than 50% penetration in Indonesia. Almost 50% of all Indonesians have already not just mobile phone, but smartphone, which in a sense make it immediately ready to provide for this digital payment. Right. So think about it. So the readiness of the infrastructures, the readiness of the people adopting it, it's already there. So now what we have to do then is how to make sure we provide a product that can be used inside in this ecosystem of smartphones, so that everyone can transact to each other. And that's how we always approach things. We have to see what is their pain points, right? In regards to cash, in regards to cards. In cash, for example, the disbursement of cash is not easy. It's actually not cheap. Indonesia spent about 3 trillion rupiah every year just to disperse cash. That's a lot of money to just distribute something that for everyone to use as a payment instrument. Whereas in digital, if you want to disperse money, it's basically real time, instantaneously. It's very little logistic cost. Yes, there's system cost, but it's very minimal and it's built to scale. Also, if you use cards, you still need to disperse them. You need to replace them. You need to have acceptance points, where in the digital, the acceptance points is also on your other smartphone. So everyone can immediately access it. So now that you're aware of these infrastructures and you know that you want to be able to scale it, because the acceptance are there. That is where we come in. And that's where every time, right, we talk about how is it the Indonesian way of doing payment, Indonesian way of handling if there's any dispute of any kind of a security reason. All of that are part of the considerations when we want to build something that everyone can use, right? When we talk about scales, we want to develop something that eventually all the Indonesian can use it and can be better than before, can be smarter than before, and can be faster than before. Because we have all of those kind of philosophy in mind, we are able to create one of the fastest growing product in the Indonesian market. We achieve 100 million users within less than 3.5 years. So I think the ability to scale cannot be avoided if you want to build a product that can be used by anyone. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Vince, and congratulations on your success, and that came with a lot of hard work. And just today, actually, Vince, with your condition, it's a stern reminder that we are still working our way out of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I'd love to ask you, Vince, the economic side of the house, and the pandemic has certainly made a big impact. Countries like Indonesia, perhaps, that services depend on tourism, all these things. Now, Vince, as you look at the future, the next 12 to 24 months,
yeah,
what's your view on how the digital economy, especially those listening, those are either in fintech, interested in fintech, or the digital economy, where do you see those green sprouts, or where do you see those opportunities ahead for Indonesia in the digital economy?
Sure. I think this pandemic has really kind of showed us that digital is no longer just kind of like good to have or an options, but it's a must. I think a lot of the consumers, a lot of the businesses realize during this pandemic period, right? Because we are experiencing a major lockdown for a long-term period of time. Then having an omni-channel strategy, which is not only just traditional way of selling businesses, which is where you have to have a retail shop or selling face-to-face. Now, having a digital channels, such as selling through social media, selling through online, selling through the chat applications. I think that's the kind of thing that is necessary for going stronger into the future, and that more and more of the populations realize this. And then this is one thing that pandemic has brought us. It's a really a fundamental shift in the people way of doing business, and digital is the future of doing business, right? And that's why one of the key on having this digital business is to be able to do digital payment. And we've seen such a tremendous growth in the last 2 years. In fact, for Dana itself, we have grown more than 200% in the last 2 years since the pandemic started, and then more because more and more people find it necessary now to do these digital transactions. For example, like last time when you want to send money to your friends or family, you go to a bank, you go to ATM machines. So for example, you want to buy something, you go to the stores. Now everything can be done digitally. And also this is actually pretty important, right? Having cash, as a matter of fact, I think this is how I caught COVID. I think it's true like physical cash transactions. I was traveling and then I'm using cash for some of my transactions because we've been very, very, what we call it, trying to wear masks all the time. We've been very stringent on our day-to-day activities, but we still caught it. So I guess the reason being because cash we keep handling this cash like giving to each, paying to each other and then receiving cash, and we don't know whether or not that's the cost, but I think that's most likely. And having this now converting to digital payment, we no longer carry that risk anymore because everything now can be done touchless to each other, can be done in real time. Is actually also more secure than just than cash itself. A lot of people still don't know that the cost of cash handling, of receiving cash and paying with cash on day-to-day basis, for a long period of time, for example, like the whole year, if you calculate it, the cost of cash handling is about 5% actually. And that's attributed to many things, fake money, the broken money, cost of calculating, reconciling, making sure the cash is equals to the settlement that you get from the merchants, and it's from the payment from the consumer paying. That's actually pretty high. Whereas in digital, the cost is so much lower. So that's a much better way, a much more efficient way. And that's why this pandemic has teaches us so many things that we never experienced that before. And that's why the growth has been pretty significant. And the growth is not only from the users itself. In fact, there are more and more merchants now adopting this digital payment. Right now in Indonesia, there's about 17.25 million of MSME that is already accepting this digital payment in the form of QRIS, right? The QR Indonesian standard. And I think that has been such a great drive in making, during this pandemic era, even forward, that all of these merchants can still survive and doing businesses even during the lockdown. And in terms of the user usage itself, Dana can only, I can only share what happened in Dana, even though the overall numbers are still increasing. But in terms of our users, we're now already generating about almost 10 million transactions a day. As I mentioned, we've grown our users to 100 million. And then yet the size of the transactions per users on month-to-month basis is still increasing. So that's why I'm pretty bullish of the impact of this going forward. I think more and more people actually going to bypass the cash culture and the card culture and going straight to this digital payment even stronger after this pandemic. And I think this is a very exciting period for Indonesia.
Yeah, thank you, Vince. And certainly when economies move digital, it's a whole ecosystem, and that whole ecosystem are merchants, the banks, or financial institutions, or users, there's service providers, there's global partners. There's government, there's others. And I think, that really is what excites us here in China. It excites a lot of the markets that we see emerging, because it takes the whole ecosystem with it in terms of the opportunities and breaking down the barriers that, as you mentioned, cash provides, those barriers to transfer, to move around. Those are some great things I think that are coming in the future. And thank you for sharing your experience. You're at the tip of the iceberg, Vince, in terms of this sort of payments, fintech trend, this move for Indonesia. And it wouldn't be, we wouldn't allow you to get out of here if we didn't talk about tech, given this is Tech for Inclusion. Yeah. And I'd love to hear your views on this, Vince. In the program, we do have courses that touch on blockchain, AI, security, cloud computing. What tech trends are you really excited about? What do you see, or what are you using even now on the tech side to drive inclusion and drive your business?
Okay, I think the most important part of this digitalization, right, is that expectation that everything now is going to be fast and fast, quick, and scalable, right? So what excites me is about getting into this real-time world where everything can be done in real time. When you get paid, you receive it right away. when you want to do anything, you want to have risk management that can really analyze and score real time. When you want to borrow money, you can get this instant scoring, real time scoring, so that you can borrow. Sorry about that. You can borrow, or you can invest, or you can get insured, and everything is real time. And I think that's the way of the why tech is so important, because if you want to get everything to be done in this real time ecosystem, you cannot do it in a manual process any longer. You need to leverage the technology. And when we talk about technology, right? I mean, in terms of there's technology jargon itself. There's so many in the industry, like the blockchains, like the cloud computing, like the artificial intelligence, like the machine learnings and everything. And for us, we're pretty agnostic in terms of those technology. We try to adopt whichever that is the most efficient in order to deliver the value, which is what this is the most important part, right? The value is the real-time ability to do things. So as long as we are very clear on the way to do that, that's why we develop technology based on the need. Some of the most impressive things that we've done in Dana itself is in regards to the risk management. And I cannot stress enough of how important it is. Imagine this, right? Now we're processing more than 10 million transactions a day. So how to make sure that every time people do transactions, they know that it is being secured. So it's not easy, because if you think about 10 million transactions a day, if you use, kind of the manual process, let's just say one person can handle 1,000, that means you need 10,000 people just to manage the 10 million transactions in a day, right? And that could, potentially have, such an economic impact to your businesses if you need 10,000 people just to help you handle transactions. Where in Dana itself, we only have, not only, but it's pretty good enough, almost 1,000 people. So by using the technology, we're already having a 10 times that scalability, 10 times the ability for us to process more than, the amount of people necessary to handle all of that. And in regards to risk management itself, we want to make sure that every time users use Dana, we can protect them 100%. So in Dana, we actually provide 100% guarantee. If there's anything wrong with the transactions, we actually protect the users, so to get their money back, right? So risk engine is the ability for us to make sure that we can have as low of this, what we call transaction fraud, or everything that's possible. So then we can help people to trust our system more. And the way we do that is it's analyzing the pattern behavior, analyzing, for example, like what are the users that using it is the same users? Are the users actually are doing it at the bad merchants? Are there the merchant transaction is normal or not? Is there the time? Is there the location that is actually reasonable? So there's just so many data points that we need to take into this system so that we can predict whether the transaction is actually secure. And once we started to do that, then we give recommendations, to the users, to the merchants, whether or not this transaction is valid. And if the transaction is not valid, we actually notify the users, hey, this is a invalid transaction. So you sure you want to continue with this? Or if actually, sometimes if the transactions, we already consider that this is not a secure transactions, we basically reject the transaction. I'm sorry, the transaction you're trying to do is going to have a high risk on it. So please call our customer service or talk to the merchants in regards to this specific transactions. So because of that, we're now able to do industry leading what we call fraud preventions. We have less than 0.0001% of fraud happening in our system, and that's considered to be one of the best, not only in Indonesia, but one of the best in the world by itself. This cannot be done if we don't have what we call a real-time system, capable technology, a capable risk engine, and especially the most important of them all is talents, right? The ability for us to create this system in-house to be able to do this and build this for the future of this digital payments for the Indonesia society. That's why it's very important to have the right talents to drive all of this. Okay, thanks, Jason.
Vince, thank you for raising that point. And the point is that we're not just interested in technology for technology's sake. There are a lot of trends these days, a lot of hot words like blockchain. But you're exactly right. This is also our approach at Ant Group and Alipay for the last 18 years, which is let's solve problems. And what is it? What problem are we trying to solve? And then technology is just a tool that will enable us to solve that problem, perhaps faster, cheaper, more effectively. And also thank you for raising and emphasizing consumer protection, security. Those are all things that all of us actors in the digital economy need to hold as top priority. And so that, thank you for sharing on that. You mentioned talent just now, and this is also an event with Kominfo to support digital talent. Of course, 10 times 1000 is all about talent cultivation. You are the CEO of Dana. I'm just curious, Vince, what type of skill sets, what type of people do you look for in joining Dana and joining a large fintech? Could you give maybe some attributes or some things that make you excited about candidates? And this really speaks to the broader challenge that we all have, is how do we generate more high skill, digitally savvy talent that's going to drive the future of the Indonesian economy?
Thanks, Jason. I think I cannot stress enough how important talents for Dana is. Even from the very beginning, at the early day, actually in the second month, we already created a culture, which is that's one of the fundamental of how we can grow and retain our talents is we are able to create a culture that everyone believes in, right? And I think that's one of the most important part of having a talent is you can able to create you can able to attract talents that fit with your values, that fit with your culture, and also you can then make sure that the talent grow together with you, so then we can address what is our company mission and vision it's all about. So in Dana, there are more than, when we started in the first year, we have we employ immediately employ about 50 to 70 people. And among these 50 to 70 people, right? Among these 70 people, 50 of them still remain with us. And that's just amazing, right? After 4.5 years. And these are now the kind of people that are already leading the team, already develop, society-changing products that really impact more now, as I mentioned, more than 100 million of the Indonesian people. And we are very, very, we are very proud to say that the majority of our employees, almost 99.9% of our employees, 99.8% of our employees are actually Indonesian. And when we try to attract them, right, it's all about how they can believe with the same visions and missions that we do. All of the team that join us from day one, they know for sure that we want to achieve something that is, as we mentioned just now, right? And something that scales, something that is going to impact people's life. So the ability for them to adjust on this kind of target, right? And then this kind of requirements is really, really important. That's why we adopt what we call agile methods, and not just for the engineers. I know that's word that has been used many, many times for the tech team, right? The agile method, but it actually being adopted by everyone in the company. Why we do need this? Why we need the ability for the people to adjust? Because, you know, the market changed very drastically, very fast. You know, the technology companies such as Dana, we have so many transformative technology just in the last 3 years, right? Talking about the blockchain, talking about this post-COVID and then post-COVID, talking about the machine learning, talking about regulatory changes, regulatory, adjustment, talking about as simple as, you know, right now, what to do, where does you want to invest your money if you have something that you want to do, and how can you do it even with as minimum value as before? Because last time when you wanted to do investment, you required a pretty significant chunk amount of money. Now you can start with even like 1,000 rupiah or 2,000 rupiah, right? So a lot of these things are required a fundamental shift in how all the talents need to think, needs to create the product, needs to do the service, needs to do the businesses. And we cannot do it if everyone is not on this, what we call an agile agile mindset. So I think that's really, really important in Dana, and having this people who believes in the vision, people who knows that they have to employ these agile methods of working. And there's just so many ways of how we adopt this in our day-to-day business, right? Having the right KPI or OKR, having how we can have the measure the KPI, how we can adopt a metrics that is actually can be tracked on week-to-week basis, not just by the engineering team, but even the business team, even the financial team, so that everyone can be on board together on what we're trying to achieve, not in a year, not in 2 years, but in week-to-week basis. So then every changes that happens in the market, we can react to it very quickly. We can sometimes be preemptive, right? Sorry, my mind's a bit cloudy. We can preempt what we're trying to do, because now we are really understand how the market move with this way of doing the business. And I think that's what I'm so proud about in regards to our talents. It requires some kind of a convincing, mentoring. It requires a lot of internal workshop and belief in each other. But now everyone in Dana is so much more resilient, so much more agile in the way what we're doing our business right now. And that's why one of the big reasons that we can survive in this COVID impacted situation the last 2 years and come out as really some of the best performing that we had since the beginning. And I think we cannot do it if we didn't employ this agile working environment.
Thanks, Vince. And what I hear is really three words really were highlighted to me in your sharing just now. One is culture. The number two is mindset, or this drive, this collective drive. And the third is agile. And you repeated that multiple times. And I think that's something that I'd like to highlight also to our prospective learners and attendees listening is the skills that you learn, whether it's coding, or if you're a product person, all these different functions, let's say, if that's the baseline, then what really leaders like Vince are looking for when he's building his team are those additional three components. They're softer sides of a resume, but they're actually what makes the difference in the company, especially as you mentioned, given how fast things are changing these days. You have to stay agile. You have to stay mission focused, and you have to have a strong culture. Vince, we've taken a lot of your time. I'm going to end here, but if you'd like, I'd invite you to give a last word, and then we will turn over our time to Kominfo.
Well, thank you very much, Jason, and thank you very much for the audience as well. I mean, for me, I cannot say enough that I'm so excited to be part of this 10 by 1000 program, and I think this is a wonderful opportunity, not just for me to be able to share my experience, to be able to share how what I learned when in running Dana, and also helping all the potential talents, digital talents out there in the market to actually benefit from this experience. Because going to the futures, like Jason mentioned, I think there is really an important mind shift, right? It's really important for everyone to start to adopt this, that digitalization is happening. Digitalization is becoming one of the key driver for our growth to the future. And this 10 by 1000 program is really already, I've seen and interacted with some of the students that follow this program, and it's so, I'm so honored and so amazed that they really can employ some of the learnings that they had with these programs to day-to-day businesses and day-to-day career advancement. And I'm so excited to see more and more people actually get involved with this. And I really hope that this program can benefit everyone, especially to the future tech talents or the future sort of people who's going to be involved in this technology industry. So Jason, thank you so much for inviting me, and really hope to keep participating and really hope to benefit not just the people who join the program, but also the people who are going, have potentially wants to be in this industry.
Thank you, Vince. Also, well, thank you and your colleagues. We not only have you, but soon we will also have your chief product officer as another lecturer on the 10 times 1000. So just more content to come for all the listeners regarding our training programs. Oni, let us give the floor back to you. But in the meantime, Vince, please take care. Get well soon. Thank you again for joining me.
Thanks, man.
Okay, thank you very much to Mr. Jason and Mr. Vincent for this interview session. We just not just gain understanding about the program, but also insight and experience from fintech enthusiasts, founder, and also leader. Once again, we thank you for your time and opportunities for this wonderful event, Mr. Jason and Mr. Vincent. Hope you also will get well soon. Next in our agenda, we had the sharing session from the alumni of 10,000 program. Joining us today is Miss Dia Deviana. She's working as strategy merchant payment online at GoTo Financial. She will share us her experience as an alumni, which we hope will spark more interest from the participants to join this training. Miss Dia, when you're ready, the time is yours.
Hi dear, this is Infan, and I have prepared your PPTs, and it would be good to start with these 5 questions you have prepared. And shall we start from knowing about who you are?
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for the time. So good day for every one of you. I hope a great day for you, all of you. So maybe like a bit introduction from myself. My name is Dia Deviana. Currently looking at the merchant payment strategy at GoTo Financial, specifically for migrants or our business in online acceptance as one of the group subsidiaries. it's an honor for me to be able to speak and share some of my experience here in today's session. So maybe to also share a bit background about myself in fintech. I was first exposed to the fintech industry in 2016. Throughout my professional journey, I was able to help many Indonesian commerce to accept transaction, be it online or even in offline, via various channels such as like a website, mobile application, mobile POS, vending machine, and even kiosks. So maybe every time you wanna do some transaction, maybe we are there. So and then I also had a wonderful opportunity of working at one of the major banks in Indonesia, which was when I got the opportunity to participate in the 10,000 Fintech Foundation program. I joined the 10,000 Fintech Foundation program in May 2021, last year, as the first batch of online learners. So it was a very great journey, personally speaking. And at that time, I was interested in joining the program since they have many exciting topics about fintech trends, about fintech technology development, about the business development, and it covering worldwide issue. And most important one is they also invite many notable speakers from Indonesia, from Malaysia, from China, and from many countries, which makes the topic become more relevant and also more interesting for me. So yeah, that's a little bit more about my background and also why I really love to join this program at that moment.
Thank you, Dia. And the second one.
Okay. Interesting questions is about fintech in Indonesia. So from my understanding and also from my experience, fintech industry has been developing very, very fast in Indonesia in the last few years. I can say in 2016, when the first time I joined the fintech industry, not many new startup or businesses focus on the financial product. I saw the traditional banking, the traditional institution that support the financial system at that time. Yet today, we used with a lot of financial product. For example, a simple QR payment using QRS or Kris from our e-money application or from our mobile banking to any transaction. And then sometimes we also connecting our bank account into one of our favorite application in our phone, just to make the transaction more convenient and faster, and up to do investment at the tip of our fingers. Very simple, very easy, very reliable, and for sure it's very convenient for us. And sharing another trend during my career in 2017 up to 2018, we as a society get more exposure about online payment. We saw a lot of e-money and P2P lending players coming to the market. We enjoy a lot of a new feature, new product, and also many promos that have been happening during that time. And if we compare to now, to 2022, we can start from the early pandemic 2022, where like fintech tried become dominated by investment platform. We have a lot of names that being well known now. And then we also get faced with BNPL or buy now, pay later players that you can see from all marketplaces or even from any application on your phone. So there's a huge swift and also development just during like the last 4 years. And then all of the changes basically create more opportunities for us as a local talent in Indonesia. But I believe we need also to be aware that we are being pushed to be more adaptive and aware with new trends that will coming in, especially in the fintech ecosystem. and then we also have to be always to be remind that what we have created today, or what we have now, or what great and impactful now might be a standard for later in the future. For example, is rocket science for us to be able to transact online, but now it's just a normal transaction online for us to do in day-to-day basis. So I also believe that by joining more relevant learning programs, more workshop, and more events, such as like 10,000, we are basically preparing ourselves to have competitive advantage against others, not only in Indonesia, basically, but worldwide.
Thank you, Dia. I think the practice today will be the standard for the future. That's a very good quote.
Oh, this was a great topic, basically. Female in the industry. So what I can share with this, generally speaking, based on our data in 2021 about the technology industry itself, not specifically about fintech, but what we can understand from the data is just about 22% of employees in the tech companies are female. And this figure, I believe, is only false for senior and founder position. So it could be a bit different at the working level, where I believe we might see a lower number, but yeah, it also will be various in specific industry. But based on my own experience as a female practitioner in the fintech industry, I believe there's no barrier for women to joining the technology or even fintech company, and even to be a founder of a fintech company. I see there's equal opportunities in the market for all of us here, and most of the employers do not care about gender, rather like if you are a man or a woman, at the end of the day, what you're capable to be doing is something that become most important. And women, in my opinion, women just need to show that we are capable and able to deliver the expected result well, and can compete with any other talents in the market. In my personal experience, being open to any learning, and also later sharing knowledge, experience back to the community, to the family, friend, and colleague would be one of the keys to grow women exposure to technology and fintech industry. And then we can also make the community to be more welcome, for sure. Getting used to having women involvement in every aspect, in every decision, and also deliver like a new product or even a new innovation to the market.
Thank you, Dia. And let's move on to the text. But indeed, I think the inequality won't be a challenge in the fintech industry. And many of the founders and top leaders are outstanding female figures.
Yeah, so I believe that. I hope we can see more female leaders in the futures. Maybe all of us here can be like the next future leaders also for the fintech or even technology company. So I think we move to the next questions. My experience in 10,000. Okay, so I have to say here, without any makeup, that I enjoy my learning time so much. I feel like the program was packed very, very well. Web learning is easily accessible. I can access it with my phone or even with my laptop. And then I saw many relevant topics or modules to the current market. And the simple, interesting thing that they are prepared is they have a short break in every video. It's important to have a little break to make sure like we understand what the topics or information that being shared. And later, after all the learning, they also prepare some interesting quiz to challenge my understanding about that specific topic. So it's a very interactive learning during the class. It might sound boring, I believe, when the process needs to be done all online, but these programs basically offer much information that makes me feel like as the learner, want to know more. So in some cases, I even try to browse the topic more after the learning, just to make sure that I get more information, more samples in the market, and makes the program become more rich. And I also would like to share what I love the most during my time as a learner is when the lecturer also shared their experience as a practitioner, as a leaders, as the senior folks in the company, and make some difficult topics look simple and very easy to understand. One example that I can share at this moment is when I learned about blockchain. I'm not familiar with the topic yet at that moment. It's a very new topic for me, which not easily digest in the first place. But after the learning and after so many videos and also topics that being shared, it makes me want to be more curious about blockchains, and then later on make me feel like, oh, I know what blockchain is. So it's a very great learning experience that not many online learning can give to us. And sometimes, because this is like online learning with a community involving, sometimes if I had a questions about specific topic, again, maybe I can give us an example about the blockchain, I can ask the other learners and receive a very helpful feedback. They can also share their experience with the blockchains, or even maybe like how their company work with blockchains. And it's also taught me about market and perspective from other country for sure, because they are sharing what they have, and it's very interesting and also very educating. Maybe to give a bit more context about the other learners, during my time, I had other colleagues from 66 countries, if I'm not mistaken. So it's from Asia, it's also from some countries in other regions. So it's a very interesting experience, and I'm glad I take a part on it.
Thank you, dear. Indeed, I think the 10 times 1,000 program is not just a classroom, it's not just a course, but actually some place you meet people with like-minded vision, and you are never learning alone. And let's close by a final question. Any suggestion to our audience today?
Okay, maybe it's just a short tips or suggestion to the prospective learners or like the next learners. Maybe as I already mentioned before, that I found the 10,000 Fintech program was very excited and helped me learn more about the industry, the people views, and even new products in the market, another outlook, another understanding another market. So I personally even waiting for the next agenda for the alumnus, if you have any later on. But I believe Fintech Foundation program is just the beginning of the long journey to prepare all the participants here. And as the next generation, we also need to think about what we learn and next what we can contribute and create more impact to the society and future. Maybe to create an impact doesn't mean like we need to do something that very rocket science or a big bang one, but at least to the community that near us, how we can share the knowledge, how we can share what we have now to the others to make sure they can catch up with the new technology, the new trend, the new next thing that will coming to them. And at this moment, Particularly, I would like to suggest to all prospective learners to also prepare the time for joining the class. Don't take it for granted, for sure, and just try your best to enjoy the learning sessions. Take some notes, especially for the critical points that you feel important for yourself. And later on, also list down all the questions. And what I believe personally, there is no such thing like a stupid questions. Every question is important. So do not hesitate to take any chance to ask a questions and initiate discussion with your peers. Maybe later on with the learners, if there's any possible, with the lecturer, if there any possible time. So I believe it will be a very great journey for the next prospective learners.
Thank you, Dia. That's a very frank suggestions, and I think that's very helpful for not only people on the line, but also for me as well. And thank you for your time and answering all these questions. And stay with us, and let's handle the floor back to Omni for the Q&A session.
Okay, thank you, Miss Dia, for sharing with us experience as an alumni of 10,000. Thank you also for Infant from giving the chance for interviewing the alumni of the program. We hope it will give us the insight more about the program and its potential. Also, spark more interest from the participant today to join this training. Now, before we arrive at our last agenda of the day for the Q&A session, allow me to share with you how to register to the program. Allow me to share my screen. Oke, untuk pendaftarannya itu sebenarnya tahapannya simple, hanya 3 tahap saja. Pertama, bagi para peserta yang ingin mendaftar pada program ini bisa mendaftar melalui website DTS Kominfo dengan link yaitu komin.fo/10,000. Sebelumnya registrasi dulu jika belum memiliki akun DTS. Nanti bisa di sini. Jika sudah belum punya akun bisa registrasi terlebih dahulu. Jika sudah bisa langsung login. Setelah bisa login langsung nanti dengan memakai link yang sudah kita share, para peserta bisa langsung klik untuk pendaftaran program. Saat mengklik tanda pendaftaran nanti akan dibawa untuk mengisi form pendaftaran seperti ini. Di sini bisa silakan diisi sesuai dengan kriteria masing-masing. Setelah selesai mengisi ini, nanti akan mendapatkan peserta email dari konfirmasi dari 10,000 program dari Yinpen. Nanti dari link yang ada di email tersebut, peserta bisa melanjutkan proses berikutnya untuk bisa mengikuti program pelatihan di websitenya 10,000. Okay, now we already arrived at the last agenda of our session today, which is the Q&A session. First, I will read some questions from the floor. This is the question for the N group. The first question is from Yeni Mulyani, Ketua DPD Hipkindo Kalimantan Selatan. As one of our SME organization located in South Kalimantan, is there any contribution or collaboration we can do with regarding to Fintech 10,000 program to achieve this? Help SME business post-pandemic recovery, financial literacy. And then the second question is from Dian, so from a lecturer. The question is, first is beside educating society related to Fintech, what it is also the others program of this foundation? Second, what kind of knowledge and skill will be needed by the young people in the future related to fintech, especially when they want to be entrepreneur? Okay, maybe first from the end group can answer the question from these two participants. Is it will be answered by Yin Fan?
Yeah, Jason, not sure whether you want to cover, but I'm happy to provide an overview on the first question, then I will go to you for the second one. And in terms of, and thank you for the question, I mean, from the SME organizations in South Kalimantan. And I think we are very open for collaboration, and that's why we want to work with Kominfo, because we know the content, we know the mindset, but the local context and what's happening in the local market, we don't have a clue at all, especially Indonesia in different, such a diverse country. And that's why we want to work with Kominfo, and through Kominfo to reach to different regions of Indonesia, and that make us being inclusive. So I think it will be really good to have a follow-up chat with you from the SME organization from South Kalimantan. And of course, we want to help, and you will also help us to help how we could do to help SME business to grow after the pandemic and to increase financial literacy to more people. But for the program itself, we have strict criteria of having minimum 3 years of experience, either in doing business in an SME or doing have a professional career in a company in digital finance or fintech. But after these people finish their program, and after they have equipped with those knowledge together with their working experience, I think they could be our future seeds or ambassadors to bring more knowledge to the wider group. But as a starting point, we have to make a little bit of focus rather than just reach to everyone. And I think that's what I would suggest, but it would be good to have a separate chat after this event with people from the South Kalimantan SME to have a deeper conversation on that. Because apart from the 10,000 program, Ant Group itself also have other program to help boosting SMEs in cross-border trade, which is also a very important element for what we are doing in different countries, especially in South East Asia, for SMEs to get better access to the global markets. Only maybe you can repeat the question again, and I would suggest Mr. Jason Powell to answer your second question in terms of content and program.
Okay, I will repeat again the question. First from Ms. Yani Mulyani, Ketua DPD of Kementerian South Kalimantan. As one of the SME organizations located in South Kalimantan, is there any contribution or collaboration we can do with regarding to Fintech 10,000 program to achieve this help SME business post-pandemic recovery financial literacy?
Yeah, can you repeat the second question from the end? Sorry.
For the second question, first, besides educating society related to fintech, what it is also the others program of this foundation? What kind of knowledge and skill will be needed by the young people in the future related to fintech, especially when they want to be entrepreneur?
Maybe I could take that question, and I know that Vince has had to drop off and rest a bit. It's a great question. We have a lot of entrepreneurs in our program. We interact and serve a lot of entrepreneurs through our business. In fact, both Ant Group, Alibaba Group, and even the 10 times 1000 team have entrepreneurship in our blood. We're all entrepreneurs as well. And I really do think that the first thing that's most important for entrepreneurs as you're starting out and building a business is having clarity, understanding very clearly, thinking about very clearly what your mission is, what your vision is, and what are the values of your company. So what is the mission? A mission is an overall statement. It's a statement that should guide your company through all the changes that'll happen over the years. A clear mission is really important because next year something can happen. It might completely change your business direction. But if it's still under the same mission, then you have consistency year over year. It's one of the things that at Ant Group we keep quite strong to keep us focused. So I think mission is important. Having a clear vision is also really important. A vision is something that for us at 10 times 1000, for at least 10 years, we aim to train at least 1000 emerging talents and tech leaders. That's our vision. There's numbers in it. It's a goal that we look to hit. And so I think having a strong vision, well thought out vision is important. And of course, finally, values. Values is important is because the people that will come into your organization want to adhere to a certain set of values. It speaks to culture, it speaks to behavior. I think that's really one of the most important things for entrepreneurs is to get that set. Because as an entrepreneur, you will be doing a lot of things. As a founder of a company, you will have to be head of HR, you have to do this, you have to do that, accounting, etc. So there aren't really specific skills that I think we can point to and say, those are the ones that you must have for fintech. But as a leader, what you should have is you have to have a good eye for people and you have to treat your people well. So if you're starting off, yes, you might hire a head of product, you might hire a head of marketing, you might hire a head of technology. These are all very distinct skills that you necessarily as a founder don't have to have, but you have to have a good eye to identify those people and to make sure that they want to work together and also work for you and your mission. And so that's what I'll say in terms of our experience. But of course, the program that we have with 10 times 1000 is providing the foundation for how to think about fintech, what are some of the key technologies, and of course, how to actually use those technologies to solve problems. And so I think it's really around how do you structure your growing organization, and then what kind of people do you put together? How can you get these people together? Hopefully that was helpful.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jason, for answering the question from the floor. Actually, there is one more question from floor. Sorry, let me read it again. The question is from Okay, this question is from a lecturer in Bangka Belitung University. He is interested in your video that Yinvan share regarding Aruna. This is one of the program successful story from the 10,000 program. He asks how the university such as them can collaborate to the 10,000 program, just like the video from the Arun. Maybe Intan can help answer this.
Well, thank you for your appreciation for the video. And I like the video as well. It's a very vibrant video and share all these aspects of the real story in Indonesia, in the fishing industry. And you see all these pictures. And in terms of partnership with other organizations, apart from government, we do have a special team led by my other colleague, Lin. And we look into partnership with associations, with universities, with different other non-profit organizations. If you would like to have a chat with us and help us in different ways, whether to help recruit prospect students for us in Indonesia or in your own student community, or whether you would like to share some of the knowledge or help think about become our lecturers, and even in the future when we find a huge need in Indonesia, and we may consider to have more localized content with the Indonesian context. And I think these will be the area which we can work with universities. But let's see how we develop. And I think that our partnership with Kominfo from now could be a very good starting point. And I would like to encourage you to also apply for this program to experience the 8 different courses in those 3 modules first. And in the meantime, we are very happy to have a chat with your university, and I'll invite my colleague who is leading on this university conversation with you. And we do work with other universities in different regions, and it would be good to have university partners from Indonesia. As both Vince and Jason mentioned, Indonesia is such an important country, not only just because its economy, but because it's developing digital economy. And I think Indonesian practice and the context, the population, the society of Indonesia is helping a better transformation from the very conventional to the digital economy. And you are leading that trend in Indonesia as well. So really looking forward to talk to you, and you can reach to Omni, our organizer, to Kominfo to get our contact details, and we will be very happy to talk to you and every other organizations or universities present in today's webinar. Thank you for your question.
Okay, thank you, Infant. So for the collaboration with the 10,000 program and group is not just limited to Kominfo also. So the N group is also open with the collaboration with devs. Maybe if the first that we can do is to join the training program first, so we can join the network that the 10,000 program has been noted throughout the years. Okay, we had already end of the Q&A question. I'm sorry, we cannot list or read all of the questions because of such a limited time. To summarize this session, first is Kominfo really give appreciation to the cooperation with the 10,000 program from N Group and looking forward to our cooperation together. The foundation program is a flex program that allowed to complete at our pace. The program will be taught by people from diverse background, such as lecturer, practitioners, and even fintech founder, which make these great opportunities, not for knowledge, but also to hear their insights and view on the fintechs. We also agree that the problems of the financial inclusion can only be handled by cooperation with many sectors, and we appreciate the intent from the 10,000 and N Group regarding this matter. We are not only concerned about technology, but to ensure the successfulness of the fintech company, risk management also one of the important aspects that need to ensure the operation run as intended and keep the trust of the users for the system. Okay, before we close today's session, let us have some photo session for the speakers and participants that's still with us. Please turn on your video so we can start taking the picture together. Okay, I will give you a signal. 3, 2, 1. One again. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's the end of our session. Thank you for honorable speakers and participants from general public and associations for joining today's wonderful session for the launching of training program Fintech Foundation Program Flex from 10,000 Tech for Inclusion. Collaboration of Digital Entrepreneurship Academy IDEA with N Group. Don't forget to fill the attendance and also join us in training with the link on the chat column. We hope you enjoyed today's session and we apologize for any flaws and mistakes during this session. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Produk lokal